Hey, video game industry, you're letting me down. No, it's not because you release incomplete games or offer on-disc DLC. I mean, yeah, that all sucks, but I'm still sore that you can't get your act together and release a good snowboarding game. You had 3 chances last year, and every one of those chances was wasted on crap like Snow, Steep, and Mark Morris Infinite Air. How did it come to this? In a lot of ways, Power Hover is the best snowboarding game I've played in years, and it barely has any snow. This is a Steam port of a 2015 iOS game featuring adorable robots lacing their way through vaguely futuristic landscapes picking up batteries. It may not have any tricks, and you're never actually barreling down a mountain, but the fast-paced action and creative level designs help scratch that snowboarding itch. The premise is simple. All the electricity in your town has been stolen, and it's up to a speedy robot to race through 35 challenging stages in order to collect all of the batteries and save the day. Along the way, you'll discover that things are actually worse than they appear, but the goal always remains the same. Ride the hoverboard as fast as possible and grab the floating batteries. This is a premise that could have easily led to an incredibly repetitive action game, but there's an astonishing amount of variety in Power Hover. You'll start out boarding through a hostile desert location filled with massive sandworms, followed by a tense race through underground pipes and a dizzying 360-degree stage where you're straddling what looks like a giant beanstalk. Every level comes with its own batch of obstacles to avoid and quirks to memorize. The fast-paced gameplay reminds me of the more linear parts of Sonic Adventure and Ratchet & Clank, especially when it comes to grinding across miles of railing. This is the type of game where you can't slow down. You're constantly at the whim of the hoverboard. The good news is that there are plenty of checkpoints scattered throughout the stages, making it easier to work through the more challenging obstacles. This is also good when trying to collect every single battery a level has to offer. I'm not the kind of person who absolutely needs to go back and find every last item in a game, but I found myself doing that in Power Hover. Part of the reason for this is because it's so damn fun flying around on the hoverboard. The game feels great on a standard gamepad, making it easy and painless to swoop around and avoid the game's many obstacles. I know that this originated on mobile phones, but it truly feels like the game was designed with an analog stick in mind. That said, there are times when I wish that the game would break free from its mobile phone roots. For as much as I loved racing around the screen on the hoverboard, I do wish there was a trick component involved. It's a shame there isn't more scoring, and the whole thing is basically you grabbing batteries for 35 stages. That's certainly fun, but there's so much more the developers could do with that formula. I'm also cold on the game's boss stages, which is little more than a variation on the generic infinite runner. The goal is to survive as long as possible, all while random obstacles are thrown in your path. These levels are fine, I guess, but a big step down compared to the handcrafted stages. On the other hand, the game does come with a bunch of challenge levels to unlock, something that helped make up for my disdain for those infinite runner stages. Minor complaints aside, I really do like the look of Power Hover. It has a nice clean look and is constantly changing from one stage to the next, and there's a nice sense of speed throughout most of the game. The game is at its best when it's making us avoid massive creatures native to the alien planets we're boarding on. There's probably an argument to be made that the developers could have gone even further in that direction, but I like the few touches we're given throughout the adventure. Despite having almost no snow or mountains, Power Hover is the best snowboarding game I've played in years. I wish it had a proper trick system and a little bit more variety beyond collecting batteries, but none of that gets in the way of the slick gameplay and action-packed level designs. Power Hover is an immensely satisfying extreme sports game masquerading as an action game. Hey, thanks for watching our review. I know this year has gotten off to a slow start, but so far 2017 has been pretty good. I've enjoyed both of the games I've covered this week, and the Love Fest is going to continue with some of our upcoming reviews. In other news, I'm about to start recording episodes of our upcoming game show, which is tentatively set to debut on February 1st. I can't wait to show you what I've been working on, and I suggest you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.